Hello, people. Hello, people. How's you doing out there? It feels funny saying this in February, but Happy New Year. This is my first video of 2021. January was not exactly a vinyl digging month for me. I didn't do much digging. I think I maybe went vinyl digging twice that whole month. And I think the second time I didn't even buy anything because nothing really caught my eye. And so much for February so far. I mean, February's not over, but so far, not much going on in the vinyl digging part of things. But still, I have some records to show. Not a lot, but I like what I have. It's a small pile, but it's a good pile. So we'll start off with a brand new record. It's the brand new record from Steven Wilson, The Future Bites. And very strange looking cover of there, but it's nice to have a new Steven Wilson album in the collection. I didn't realize how much I missed his new music from him till I finally got some. And this record was supposed to come out some months ago, but due to COVID, he delayed the release of this album. Which is fine, because it's better late than never. And this is a cool way to write Steven Wilson Future Bites. Interesting, interesting. Very good album. Very good album. And this is the sleeve that's inside this this cover here. And that's the gatefold for it. There's the back. Going for a minimal look here. This is a very good album. I love this album. I think it hooked me right away. And I've been going online. I've seen a lot of people complain about this album because they say it sounds too much like pop music, electronic pop music, which it does. It definitely does. But it's just cool, this new direction he decided to go into. I love it, even though it doesn't quite sound like his last 2 or 3 albums. It doesn't quite have that proggy sound to it, if you want to call his music prog. It doesn't quite have that sound to it at all. It does sound more like an electronic pop record. But since I like that music anyway, electronic pop, I have quite a few of them. I have some of those records that would fall under that category in my collection. And it feels like I'm listening to an OMD or a Night Jewel record. It just has that sound to it, but it's Steven Wilson. That's what makes it freaking cool. I bought the red vinyl edition of this album. So where we are. Cool looking vinyl. There was another edition that came out with a single. I think that might have been the German pressing, but I'm not really sure. I don't have that. I think there's even a blue vinyl version out there. But I got the red. I actually think this is a cool color with the white and all. Looks nice. And I'm digging this. And like I said, and some of these songs came out already earlier last year. And one was Personal Shopper and King Ghost. I only listened to those songs once. Each of those songs I only listened to once while watching the video. And they both had pretty cool videos. And that was like and that was it. I only listened to each and viewed the video once, because when this eventually got released and I was going to put it on my turntable for the first time, that's how I wanted to experience this music. Even though I heard Personal Shopper, I remember the first time I heard it, it caught me by surprise because I wasn't expecting it to sound the way it did. That whole electronic pop sound. So that caught me by surprise. This is the lyric booklet that comes with the album. Just give you an idea of the layout here of this. It's actually to make it look like some kind of catalog. It's pretty cool. And if you read the caption on some of these products, it is actually kind of funny. So I dig this. It's a great album. It's a good album, and it hooked me right away. Like I said, I took the songs like a fish to water. I love the music on this album. I really enjoy this record from start to finish. Every song. It is a cool album to listen to in its entirety, and That's how I've been listening. I've spun this record maybe 3-4 times, and I don't hunt around to my favorite songs. I listen to it from start to finish each time because it's just that enjoyable to me, to my ears. And I think it's unfair that they're going after Stevie Wilson, saying it sounds too pop, and they're kind of hinting that he's selling out. I don't really get that. This is just the musical direction he's going to. This is where his head is and his heart is right now, and he's going with it. And to me, that's fine, because as songwriters and artists get older, they change, they evolve. Same thing with people. We buy different clothes, we wear our hair a different way, we watch different types of movies as we get older. We evolve as people, we grow up, and that's what he's doing on this record. And I like that. It's still interesting. It's still him. It's still the style and sound of Steven Wilson, just a different shade of color, that's all. And it's still very enjoyable. I love this album. There's some of the songs deal with consumerism and people who are addicted to shopping. Obviously, the song Personal Shopper talks about that, and it's real interesting how he goes about it in the lyrics. Really good. It talks about social media. The song Follower basically is a pun on social media. Oh, it's such a good one. There's a song on here called 12 Things I Forgot, which I think is the catchiest song on this record. It's one of my favorite songs to listen to, but the whole record is killer. Really good stuff. If you're into electronic pop music, which this is, there is some drumming on it, there is some guitar on it, but not a lot. It's mostly keyboards and grooves that I guess he sequenced on a keyboard. There's a lot of drum machine and keyboard, synth, bass, kind of driven rhythms. It's a modern sounding record, let's put it that way. It's a very modern sounding record, but really good. Really catchy. I enjoy the hell out of it. And this is coming from someone who adored his last 3 solo albums, and this is definitely not that type of music, but it is still very good. I'm glad that he's going in a different direction and just showing different colors in his music. I really love that album. So, Steven Wilson, The Future Bites. Good stuff. All right, Rhino Records have been putting out some reissues lately. I don't think they're remasters, they're just reissues of some classic records, some 70s, 80s, probably some 90s too. So I bought a few of those because they just looked interesting to me, especially this one. It's from Talk Talk. It's their album, It's My Life. And what is the name of the series from Rhino? What does this say? Oh, Start Your Ear Off Right is the name of the... I don't have my reading glasses on, so it's... reading fine print is not as easy as it used to be. But Start Your Ear Right, or some shit like that, from Rhino Records. Anyway, this is a 180 gram reissue on purple vinyl, and it sounds great. I have a great old used copy of this album already, but it has been a while since I've heard this album. I do love this album, and I've heard it many times before, but it has been a while, I gotta admit. Here's the inner sleeve, and like I said, on purple vinyl, beautiful purple vinyl. Nice, nice, nice. This is a really good album. Excellent album. This is like the Steven Wilson record. This is what I like to listen to in its entirety. It's fun. It's fun. Of course, the big song on here is the title track, It's My Life. It was redone by No Doubt. And it's a classic 80s song. It was actually the first song I ever heard from Talk Talk, because I remember the video had lots of footage of animals in it. And when I was a young kid, I was really into animals, so that's why that video appealed to me. Therefore, the song ended up eventually appealing to me. And when I first joined the VC, started collecting vinyl seriously, I picked up this album a long time ago at a used record store, and absolutely loved this album. Loved it then, and I it was nice to revisit it again, and this time on a nice purple vinyl edition. Really cool, and can't say enough about this album. This and Color Spring are my two favorite records from this band, Talk Talk. I know the lead singer died. I forget his name right now, but I remember he died not too long ago. I think when he passed, I started listening to some of the singles I have of Talk Talk. I should have spun this album in its entirety, but I didn't. I was just kind of going to the singles. But this is such a awesome album. If you don't have it in your collection and you're into 80s music, you would definitely love this. Stellar record, stellar. We're going to stay in the Rhino reissue series. Two records I absolutely did not need, and that's, of course, from Genesis, the Trick of the Tail album and the Duke album. These were all reissued on Rhino. This one is on yellow vinyl. This one is on white vinyl. I didn't need, the last thing on earth I need right now is another copy of this album and Duke. I have enough already on, and that's just vinyl. We're not even talking CD or cassette. Just way too many copies of this album because it's my favorite Genesis studio record is Trick of the Tail. As far as all the studio albums, this is my favorite. Just such a good album. It's so good. It was the first album, of course, as Genesis fans know, it was the first album to feature Phil Collins as the lead singer after Peter Gabriel left the band. And here's the inner sleeve. Well done, inner sleeve. And what looks cool, like I said, it's on yellow vinyl with this Charisma label. It looks pretty cool, and I've seen some people online post pictures of it, and let's just say I was instantly jealous. But I remember the first time I saw someone post a picture of this yellow vinyl edition, I thought, oh wow, that looks cool. But and I look at all the different versions I have of this record, you know, American pressing, Mo-Fi pressing, Japanese pressing, German pressing, remastered pressing from 2007. I just thought, I don't really need that. And it's probably going to be like $30. Well, it wasn't that expensive. It was almost $25, which is, almost want to say 30, right? So I'm thinking, the last thing I need is that. Until you see it in the store and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get it. I don't need it, but I want it. And I'm actually glad this is in my collection. It's just a cool collector's thing to have, even though it's not the best pressing of this album I have in my collection. It's not, I mean, not to say it's the worst, but side one, I have to admit, has some clipping in it. Those little quick stabs of static when the song kind of rises to some power, and the highs in the mix are a little too much, and it just, you hear that clipping sound like a lot. I heard it a lot on side one. Well, a lot being maybe 6 or 7 times all throughout side one. I don't remember hearing that issue on side 2, but definitely on side 1. Other than that, it sounds actually really good. It's a good pressing of it, other than the issues of clipping on side 1. But now I think about it, side 2 actually sounded pretty good. So it's not a bad pressing. So if you don't have like multiple pressings of this album and you want a good copy, this is a good one to go. Plus, you know, the yellow vinyl looks really fucking badass. And then we move on to Duke. And I always liked this cover. I always thought this was a cool cover. One of my favorite album covers from Genesis is this right here from Duke. I don't know why. The cartoon, the cartoon cover, just, I like it. I like it. Now, like I said earlier, it's on white vinyl with the custom Charisma label, so there we go. Well, that's what, there, and we'll give you a close-up look at the label. Nice, very nice. This sounds very good. There's no clipping issue on it. It's a clean copy, and it sounds really good. I think my reissue, my Japanese pressing, sounds better, but this does, not to say this sounds bad. It sounds really good. And this is a fun record to listen to. This is another favorite Genesis album of mine. This is the one I love to listen to in its entirety as well. Really good writing on this one. And here's a fun, useless fact. This is recorded at Polar Studios in Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden, which at the time was owned by the members of ABBA. And at the time it was considered the state-of-the-art recording studio. So it was a real popular studio back in the day. This came out in 1980, so maybe they were recording there in 79 or so. Yeah, and it was owned by the members of ABBA. And they went in, that's where they recorded Duke. And as far as the mix, I've heard better sounding Genesis records as far as the mix, not the songwriting, the mix. So you would think, because ABBA records sound so good to me. I think they sound great. So when Genesis goes into Polar Studios, I was hoping you would hope for a better mix, but it's not bad. It's not bad, but the ABBA records used to sound good. I think Zeppelin recorded one of their albums in Polar Studios as well. It might have been In Through the Outdoor, I'm not sure. That record sounds good, if that's the one. This one, I don't know, something always didn't sit right about the mix. It had kind of a thin mix to me. I always thought it did. When it was later reissued and remastered, they took care of the mix problems. But you would think, coming from Polar Studios, state-of-the-art studio back in the day, it would have sounded better than it did. But anyway, those are the reissues from Rhino Records, and they sound great. Especially the Talk Talk one. The Talk Talk one sounds phenomenal. And God knows if I'll ever listen to my old used copy ever again. Okay, a couple of 12-inch singles, and we're done here. From the song is called Enola Gay, and it's from OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. This is the 40th anniversary pressing of the single Enola Gay. Great song, and but don't take my word for it. Look at the hype sticker. These are special mixes, extended mixes of the song. One on side one, the other on side two. This is on colored vinyl as well. Really cool. Beautiful color. Great kind of like dancey extended remixes of the song on both sides. Different ones on both sides. One just says extended mix, and the other one says slow mix. So, but they're both really good. This is a great song from OMD. It's one of my favorites from the early 80s of OMD. Hard to believe the song is 40 years old now. Because I remember seeing this on MTV when I was like 12, 13 years old. And the song was already a couple of years old then. But a really cool song. I always loved that photograph. Man, I love that picture. And a great song, like I said. A classic kind of synth pop song. Probably made him... one of the songs that made him popular, at least here in America. And it's nice to have the 40th anniversary pressing of this. I can't wait to go to another OMD concert again when this virus madness is over. I've been to 3 OMD shows in the last few years, and every time I go there, it is a great time. Absolutely great time. I mostly see them in San Francisco. Packed house every time. People really into the music. It just turns into a 2-hour dance party. When you see OMD live, they put on such a fun show, and I miss seeing them live. So hopefully, when all this is over, I can go see another show. All right, last one. The only American artist I'm going to show in this video. The rest of them have all been Brits. So the one American artist is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. This is a 12-inch single for Listen to Her Heart. I never knew this was on a 12-inch single. So it was really interesting to find this one, backed with some live recordings of the songs I Fought the Law in Route 66, which was recorded live in Boston in July of 1978. And look how young they looked in that photograph. They were probably high as hell in that picture. But this is a really fun 12-inch single. On the A side, of course, we have the single Listen to Her Heart, and that is actually played at 45 RPM. And on the B side is the live recordings, I Fought the Law and Route 66, and those are played at 33 1/3 because it's a rather long live recording. I love listening to the live recordings of the Heartbreakers back in the 70s. They just sound so fun and full of spirit and energy. I remember he used to be on shows like the Midnight Special and Don Kirshner's rock concert. And, you know, I would stay up, as a kid, I would stay up late to watch those shows. And I remember sometimes he would be on there and and of course, all the other great artists from the 70s. And when you just see these artists live, it was like twice as exciting. Because, you know, on television, you're used to hearing and watching them lip sync to the recorded tracks. So when you got a live version of the song on television, that just made it twice as exciting. I think all that's lost these days. I don't think people get so up to hear a live recording anymore. I don't even think people are even interested in live recordings anymore, but I still am, because I just remember how back in the day listening to a live record was fun and exciting. If I can just go back to those times. It'd be so good. But anyway, this is a great 12-inch single. I love the song Listen to Her Heart, and the live versions are really fun too, so that was a good pickup. Alright, that's it. That's all I have. Just good to get on here again and film a video and get in touch with you guys again. Hopefully you like what you saw. Please comment and say hello, and let me know what you think of that stack of records. But as always, let's have a conversation. It's my favorite part of posting videos, is talking to all you VC people. Anyway, hope you guys are all healthy and safe, and I'll see you next time. See you, folks.